Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue the music theory series right here at BusyWorksBeats.com/music theory. Today I want to go over the 3 reasons your melodies sound dead and not alive. Okay, so now some of these techniques, I'll show you the reason why you can apply the kind of deadness feel to certain instruments, but we'll get into that after going through this. So here's a piano melody that has a couple techniques applied to it to make it sound more alive, and I'll break those down. But we can still fix this. Now it just sounds like a piano reading a piano roll sheet of music. You know those saloon pianos that read the little dots on the little thing that spins? That's what it sounds like. Okay, because that's all it's doing right now. So the first thing we're going to look at is velocity. Velocity is when you hit a note soft versus hard. Now most sample libraries have a different sound for when you play it soft and if you play it harder. So if you have a grand piano library, if you play soft, it's going to have a lower frequency sound and a more low pass filter type of sound because the lid will be, well, it depends on how they mic'd it to. Then the harder and harder you hit it, the harder it hits the strings, and hopefully they sample that aggression in that library. So the first reason why this melody has a little more life to it is because of harmony. Okay, so that's when you add more than one note for that space. So the areas that I'm highlighting are harmony pieces, and that creates more life to the melody. It's almost like a second melody, but it's not really a second melody. It's the way I think of it is more like an accent. Okay, it's like when you talk, you have certain words that you accent, and the way you listen to language is accenting the words. Even the word accent, we're accenting the beginning of the word accent. So it's accent. Okay, it doesn't go accent, accent. Okay, it's accent. So the same thing goes with your melody. Just use little areas to accent your melody with harmony. We go over our harmony and intervals at busyworksbeats.com/music theory. I'll leave a link below. So there's more to it than what I'm saying. There's circle of fifths, circle of fourths, major thirds, minor thirds. There's a lot of interval styles, but you can learn that at busyworksbeats.com/music theory. So that's one reason why this melody sounds better than usual melodies. Another reason is because there are little gaps. So the gaps are extremely important in creating contrast in rhythm. If you don't have gaps, it just sounds like a long run-on sentence. You don't even like listening to people who speak constantly without ever stopping or pausing or breathing. That's what commas are for. That's what periods are for. That's what taking breaths is all about. Now you have to remember, melody started with the vocals. That was the first instrument built right inside of man. Okay, the vocal cords. And when we speak, we take natural pauses because we have to breathe. Unlike Tory Lanez, who can go on, nobody is, everybody is, kill off anybody. You know that flow. Or Kendrick, actually. Kendrick's like the pure example on Rigor Mortis. I'm like, does he ever breathe? But besides those two anomalies, leaving gaps in the melody is key. Okay, so most people just don't use gaps, and notice the gaps come at the end of each bar. So it's 1 bar gap, 2 bar gap, 3 bar gap, and then the 4th bar just continues on. So not even audibly, but we're signaling the brain to say this second section is a different thing than the first section because of the gap. Now let's work on the velocity. Again, the way I think about velocity is accent. So the way you speak, accent, high, low, accent, accent. You don't say accent. You don't go low, high on the word accent. Okay, so let's do the same thing with our melody here. So the way I do it in FL is point out the notes that I want to stand out. So, 1, 2, 3. So we're creating almost like a drum rhythm inside the melody. So, every time I do the kick, that's where it gets accented. So I want to go brum. So I'm going to add a little stutter here. So let's highlight that note. So I want to go boom, boom, boom. Let's hit Alt A in FL Studio. change your time multiplier just so it has 2 notes. Okay, so that's how you create rhythm before you even get to the drums. Now we have a 9-step process on how to write songs at busyworksbeats.com. For premium members only, it's a step-by-step process. If you follow that step-by-step process, you will always create a beat. You won't get caught up in beat block. You won't get caught up in wasting your time for 2 hours making some random loops. You're going to get through the beat making process, the songwriting process. It's a songwriting process, a 9-step process. Okay. Now for the other velocities, you don't have to turn them lower, but just have the accent notes a little higher than the... My method here is if I have 2 notes in between, it goes low, mid. If I have 1 note in between, it just goes mid. If I have 3 notes in between, like if it were like right here to here, I would go mid, low, mid. That's kind of like my formula for having velocity changes in melody that sound natural. Now the melody has a lot more life. So let's compare this actually. Let's do it this way. Let's clone this. No, wait, no, let's not clone it, sorry. Let's copy this pattern and let's put it in pattern 3. Now what I'm gonna do is take out all the little tricks that I showed you. I'm gonna take out the rests, I'm gonna take out the harmonies, and I'm gonna take out the velocity for pattern 2. And we're gonna hear the difference. Now, let me take out the harmonies, just to show you how these little things create a massive change in melody. Now here, I'm even gonna take out that little stutter, and we need to make this continuous, so I'll just, let me hear the melody from the beginning. Now this would be an amateur melody to me. It all depends, I'm not telling you this is wrong, it just depends on... Okay, sometimes you do want that continuous sound. Well, let's go back to the song mode, and I'm gonna play it. Now look at this melody. Now it does have ups and downs to it, but the velocity is all the same. There are no rests and there are no harmonies in the melody. And then pattern 3, you have velocity changes, you have harmony, and you have those rests in there. Let's listen to the difference here. Now which one sounds more live? It's pretty obvious. Let's add one more element here just to, actually this will take away from the A-B contest, but that's the difference in how to make your melody come alive. So if you want to learn more, go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory. There we teach all the stuff about intervals, scale degrees, modes, scales, circle of fifths, circle of fourths, the secret behind those. You have chord progressions, long chord progressions, you know, melodies for every genre. There's a lot to it. So just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory for the Music Theory Essentials course package, and there you'll learn a lot more. There's also free videos right on the page. I'll leave a link below. Thanks for watching today. It's busyworksbeats.com.